Hey everyone, it's Sue's Cooking here, and I just wanted to come to you live and talk a little bit about weekend prep. So I just got back from the grocery store and I've got the oven going and I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing. So I wanted to come live and talk about stoneware. First of all, if you buy stoneware that's fairly new, it's going to be this light colored stone. This is our egg maker, and you can do 2 microwave eggs in this for breakfast. Just pop an English muffin down and slap either cheese or bacon or spinach or tomato, whatever you want on your egg. Second of all, this is what a nice seasoned stone looks like. This is a large bar pan. So people often ask me, like, if I am going to start out with one stone, what should I start with? And I always say this one, because as you can see, I'm going to throw bacon in the oven for my egg sandwiches this weekend, and to put on my baked potatoes tonight. And you can cook roasted vegetables in that, pork chops, chicken. You could do one sheet pan meals with like pork chops, potatoes, onions, apples, all kinds of stuff like that. And I do have sheet pan meals on my website, which I'll post below. So I wanted to tell you about that. Next of all, I'm going to tell you about my chili in a second, but I bought a roaster chicken because I really want a soup. So I bought a roaster chicken. It's very inexpensive if you buy it uncooked. I think this was like $5 or $6. So what I'm doing is I have the old cranberry covered. You wait, Gracie. My dog wants to eat. The old cranberry covered baker. The new one is a beautiful gray color, but this fits right on top. You can put your carrots in here, your onions and your potatoes in here as well. I'm going to actually cook this. I'm going to spray it. I'm going to spritzer it with a little bit of kitchen oil. Hey guys, it's nice to have you on. So kitchen spritzer, you definitely want to buy one of these if you don't have one. Don't use Pam spray on our stoneware or on our cookware. It creates a gummy, filmy buildup that you don't want. So you fill it up to this line right here. You tighten the handle. Here, we'll come back to my chicken over here. And then you pump your own air in. And you pump it until it gets hard. I had one lady at a show say it doesn't work right, and she just hadn't pumped it enough to make it hard. And then it'll spray just like a Pam spray will. And then here's the key. When you're done, you want to make sure that you burp it. Listen. And you want to take the air out so it doesn't get clogged. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of our rubs, probably the garlic and herb, and maybe some herb de Provence on it. And then I'm going to stick it in the oven. And I'm going to cook that as well for dinner. But because we have a rainy weekend here in New Hampshire, it's going to be yucky out, and I don't really want to be spending all weekend cooking. So I'm going to prep up while that's cooking. I'm going to make a chili. So I'm using the all-purpose pot. We don't make this pot anymore. We have this beautiful non-stick stainless steel wok that I recommend you use, or our 12-inch skillet. Mine is out in my car because I had a show last night. So manual food processor, fabulous 3 blades. No crying. Chop your onions up. Now, a tip for when you're doing your chili. You want to make sure that when you do your chili, you want your spices to absorb together. So I'm going to put some olive oil on the bottom of the pan, and then I'm going to put all of my spices and rubs in the pan with the oil, and I'm going to heat that up together. And as that heats, it's going to make this beautiful aroma of spices. Then I'm going to add my onions in and my other ingredients. And I like my chili a little bit spicy. We're using the Joan London's Healthy Cooking. This is from years ago. Gosh, you guys remember Joan London from Good Morning America? I loved her. I used to watch her every day when my son was little. He used to say to me, "Morning, America," and that meant he wanted to jump on my lap and snuggle, because that's what we did. So I double all of the spices that go in this recipe. So if you don't like it so hot, I'll take a picture of the recipe and post it as well. But it says 1 tablespoon of chili powder, so we are going to use 2. Let me find chili powder. And tablespoons and teaspoons. There are different ones that you can use from Pampered Chef. I prefer this one that slides because it'll go all the way from a teaspoon to a tablespoon. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Again, I like my chili hot, and I make it in a big bulk, even though it's just my husband and I, because then I freeze it in small individual glass containers that Pampered Chef has. and I freeze them, and then when I don't feel like cooking, I can just pull that out and microwave it, eat it with a baked potato or nacho chips. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of oregano. Now here's a tip for you all. How many of you guys remember your grandmother? She would take her spices like this, and she would put them in her hand, and then she would rub them over her pan. Do you guys know why you do that? If you guys are in one of my virtual parties and I post this to you, I want you to private message me. I'm going to tell you why. It's because rubbing it between your hands releases some of the oils that are in the leaf, and it gives it a more potent flavor. So you're going to private message me, oregano, rub between your hands for potent flavor. And then I'm going to give you extra points. Actually, I should call them tickets. I was calling them points before, and people were like, what's the difference between points and tickets? There is no difference. I used to call them points before, now I call them tickets. It's just confusing. So, basil. We're going to use some basil in here. It says 2 teaspoons, so we're going to do a full tablespoon. 2 teaspoons, 4 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So again, I'm doubling all the rubs and all the spices. And remember, I put a little oil in the bottom, and doing the oil with all of your seasonings first will blend the seasonings together. And now we have some cumin. Let's see, where's my cumin? Cumin. Here we go. Same thing. So it's 1 teaspoon. So again, I can use the same measurement and slide it up to the 2 teaspoon slot and not have to change measuring spoons. So do that. That's why I love this. 1 tool. And they come in 2. The small one goes from a teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, and this one goes from 1 teaspoon all the way down to a tablespoon. Okay, so that is all of our herbs. So we're going to add a little bit more olive oil to it, and then we're going to just let that kind of saute together. By the way, Pampered Chef does make wooden spoons and spatulas, but this beauty my husband made. Isn't that pretty? This is made out of, it's red in color, so let's see, it's not oak. Cherry, it's made out of our cherry tree that was out front that we had cut down. So he was kind of whittling away this summer. It's kind of cool. So while that's starting to heat up, I'm going to use our can opener, and I'm going to open up and drain a bunch of my beans. And again, as I said, I make in bulk. Here, you guys can come closer. I feel like you guys are so far away. Here, come into my kitchen. Hey. Yes, power cooking. I love power cooking because I honestly don't like cooking. You guys probably know that by now if you've been following me for a while, but I cook a lot. So I never really liked cooking because I didn't know how. And now that I know how, I'd rather cook in bulk so that I can spend the time with my husband or my daughter, my kids, my friends, my church family. So, so I'll cook this chili, and I'll put it into, I'll put some into the freezer, and then some of it I might deliver to somebody who needs a meal, or I'll just take it with me and bring it to, you know, right before I head out to a show, I'll microwave it or something like that. So I got a question. It says, wow, yes, game prizes. So I figure every video should have some form of game prize in it because I post all my videos into my Facebook virtual parties, which is new, by the way. If you guys didn't know that I'm doing all these virtual Facebook parties, I'm doing 6 a week, and I love them. I absolutely love them. They're fun. I'm getting to meet people all over the United States. I actually met somebody who's going to be or is a chef in Hawaii. I'm going to actually get to, my husband and I are going to get to meet him live when we go to Oahu and go eat at the restaurant he cooks at. So I'm wicked excited about that. So I am going to get this going. I'm going to put all the ingredients together, and then I'm just going to let it simmer. And while it's simmering, I'm going to throw that chicken that I have, that roaster chicken over here. I'm going to put some rubs on this. I'm going to stick this in the oven as well. By then my bacon's going to be done. I'm going to have dinner for tomorrow already. I'm going to have dinner for tonight already. And I'll have prepped some other food for breakfast later. So welcome to Sue's Kitchen. I hope to see more of you. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and that you visit my VIP customer page. It's called Cooking with a G at the End with Sue Moulton, Pampered Chef. Have a great weekend.